Darren Alexander is president of the IT industry's lobby group TasIT. I spoke to him earlier about the National Broadband Network. Darren Alexander, welcome to Stateline.
Good evening and thanks for having me.
So what does all this mean for the average internet user?
I think it's exciting times for Tasmania, considering the fact that about 96% of the state is small business operators, and we live in a regional part of Australia, so for us to be able to be really competitive in the market, to be able to have faster broadband connections is really going to help business.
What sort of practical applications does it have? How will it help a business?
Well, mine is a good example. I travel a lot overseas, and because I need to do face-to-face conversations with customers, but once I've done those leads, I'll now be able to come back here and do real high-definition video conferencing, which actually will reduce my costs around my business.
Less than half the households eligible to sign up for this in the initial rollout have done so. Is that disappointing?
No, I'm surprised that people are looking at saying that's disappointing. I mean, if you said 48% of the places actually signed up, I mean, that's a really good number, considering the fact that last year everyone was saying that only 17% of the people are going to take it up. I think it's like a mobile phone. People will take this up as it comes along, word of mouth, and people using it. This will really, you'll have a higher percentage of that all the time.
So you put this down to people just not knowing enough about it yet?
Well, there's a lot of confusion. I mean, ADSL, broadband, all these words that people think they currently have now. So faster internet, people still aren't sure what they're going to use it for. But as the applications become more and more prominent, people will realise the benefits, and I'm sure you'll find that everyone will be taking it up.
Can you illustrate some of the benefits for the average home internet user?
Well, let's imagine if you're in Strawn and you've got a young person who's going to go to university. You know, the universities in the future will be able to have online applications where they'll be able to go to their online access centre in Strawn and maybe able to be involved in classes where they can actually do video conferencing in to do education. They shouldn't have to pack their families up and move. So flexible learning, you'll find it. I think that's going to be a real plus for the state. I think you'll find areas like health, people that actually got to travel a long distance to actually go and have consultations. I think those are the real exciting things you're going to see in the future.
You've mentioned there's some confusion about various aspects of this. What about the price? Because originally there was some comment that perhaps this would be out of reach of the average household.
Yeah, well, I don't think it is out of average reach. I mean, I think consumers now, when they've got their mobile phone bills, they've got other internet bills they're paying now, I think you'll find that it'll be quite competitive because everything will be bundled in. I can imagine that the ISPs will be providing certain packages that actually will allow you to have phone, there'll be no rental of the lines, those sort of things have to be factored in. And when they've done that, I think you'll find it will be very reasonable. If it's not, it won't work in the marketplace. It's simple. Market will drive it.
You're obviously a great supporter of this. A man running to be Prime Minister isn't necessarily. Tony Abbott wants to wind this back. What then?
Well, that's a little concerning, I must be honest. I'm a little confused to understand why something which is the single biggest infrastructure spend in the country's history is to be taken back if a political party gets... This, to me, is not about politics. This is about future-proofing Australia and making us competitive in the world space. And if we don't do this now and we try to do it in 10 years' time, we'll be, under the 50 mark while we're trying to compete with other parts of the world. It's imperative that we actually do this, and I think it's really positive that we're now moving forward and actually rolling it out here in Tasmania first.
The word is it's going to be switched on next week. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited and I look forward to it, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there. I mean, I think the problem with this is that we've been talking about it for a little while and consumers out there are wanting it now. So people can get impatient, but I think it's really important we get it right, and especially in Tasmania. Now, the rest of the country is going to be watching us, and we want to make sure that we do it right here, and I'm sure that the people in charge are actually making sure that they do it right. But for us, I think the most important thing is that the consumers out there, we now need to start talking about applications, developments. That's where the exciting thing is. And the opportunities for business and software developers like my company will be able to really be at the forefront of actually developing new applications for consumers in small regional towns but all across the country.
Darren Alexander, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.